Hey everybody, and welcome back. TalkingFish plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We're going to be doing a challenge run today, one of my favorite challenges in the entire game. April's game paused itself 3 or 4 times. Alright, so it looks like we're getting Buddy in a box in the first room. That's Spider Butt. That was a golden heart. This is why I love this challenge. You notice from the map up there? It's just putting us wherever we want. Or wherever it wants. That's did not do what it's supposed to. Okay. So I'm just working through a couple of unlocks here. Actually, it's really nice to have Spider Butt because it's got a 2-room recharge. Only thing better would be a 1-room recharge. Get a couple random items. There's a penny, I guess. So we're just breezing through a couple of unlocks here because if we want to complete this save file, you gotta start somewhere. Every boss is the bloat. Oh, thank you. Oh, he's blocking my shots. I don't know if you played this challenge before, but golden hearts are extremely overpowered. Because every penny could be something completely different. That's so good. Let's move on. So we're just fighting Mom's Heart. And I'm not going to be super worried about not taking damage because we don't know what any of the items are anyway. But I do hate the little overlay for this item though. So I spoke in the last episode a little tiny bit about mixing audio. I've been mixing my audio using a DAW called Reaper. And I've been just playing around with compression and noise gates because I have a very noisy setup right now. Just using like my Razer gaming headset. It's high class, but gotta flex on. Using my Razer gaming headset, that's helpful. And the audio on it is okay. I mean, it's just your standard 3.5mm jack headset audio, so it's relatively noisy. It doesn't have a very wide frequency response, so a lot of the frequencies in my natural voice are getting cut out, so I'm having to electronically edit some of those back in to give me a more natural speaking voice so I don't sound like a robot or a man who's speaking to you from the inside of his truck driving down the interstate at 85 miles an hour. The map's getting me. So for this challenge, fruitcake is excellent. Oh. Oh. That's incredible. What is going on with this? Is this anti-gravity? Is that what's doing this? Love to see it. We got the item. Okay. Moving on. So the whole point of these challenge runs is that they all have a theme. And the whole theme of this run is basically gotcha. Well, wish I had saved that. Well, it doesn't really matter actually. The game's trying to get you. That's literally it. I mean, they try real hard. I have no keys, so it does not matter. Oh my gosh. You know what? That works. I'm happy with that. Ah, I'm bad. So as I was saying, this one is basically they're punking you. This version of the game, or in this version of the game, none of the consumables are what they say they are. None of the items are what they say they are originally, but they are what it displays. The pills are all different, the cards are all different. The consumables all have different effects. No keys. And every single boss is the bloat. So any item that gives you a bunch of consumables is actually super overpowered because it gives you all those consumables that could be anything, including HP. As you're seeing here. I'm just running into enemies. Guppy's tail is, like I was just saying, and it's an item that gives you a bunch of consumables, or at least access to consumables. So I know the item pools are not mixed up. So that's not actually Ball of Star. That's going to be a one-part deal that I will take. You know what? Okay. Eat up, buddy. Head back to this item room. Check it out. Oh, that's so good. I don't know if this will use a penny every single time. It's Ghost, baby. I was so focused on the sprite of being able to use any active item in the game over and over and over and over that I didn't pay attention to the fact that they're not what they say they are. Alright, break that. Pick it all up. Leave. So, how many of you that are watching are trying something new during your enforced, well, not really enforced, non-enforced stay at home? Hopefully all of you are staying at home, avoiding contact with other people as much as possible. Washing your hands, not touching your face, the whole shebang. But I find that this has been a wonderful time for me to branch out and do what I want to do, obviously. Got him. But I want to know, if any of you guys have thought about, starting to work out at home or getting into a diet regimen or anything along, well, not necessarily along those lines, but maybe you wanted to learn how to crochet or something. Did you do it? I understand having some constraints right now, especially with restricted buying. You're just not able to go to the store to buy the things to facilitate some of those hobbies. But for those of you that are able to, have you learned anything? If you know anything about me, for example, if you're one of my personal friends or anything like that, you know that I'm kind of obsessed with learning stuff. To an annoying degree to a lot of people. So I've been doing everything I can to try to learn. Obviously, I've been focusing my learning on things that I can apply to content creation. You can't ignore this. Holy mantle! He's a genius. So I've been looking up audio integration and the differences between embedded audio and encoding bit rates, file size, encoding rates. It probably all sounds super fake, and I'm probably saying a lot of it very wrong. So here's the deal. I haven't been reading manuals. I've been watching videos. There's a guy on YouTube who makes videos about voiceover, but I feel like it translates pretty well. He has these videos on voiceover that are really super high quality. I love the way his voice sounds. And if you've studied art to any degree, you'll know that if you want to create like someone else, the first thing you have to do is study the way that they do things, right? So that you can emulate it first. And then after that, start interpreting. So a lot of the way that I'm going about saying things, I'm taking from the way he speaks on his channel. And I just played back a little bit of the last episode. I do pre-record a little tiny bit, just a day ahead, but stop. Oh my gosh. And I think it sounds pretty good. I'm not using a $600 audio setup, so I might have some unrealistic standards based on my equipment, but it's on its way. I have a very nice condenser microphone heading here as we speak. Last I checked, it was in Ohio, which is pretty close. It should be here another day, so maybe tomorrow, next day. We'll be seeing some videos with high definition audio. And if you're not excited about that, I mean, I don't blame you. It's really my thing to be excited about. But it will definitely make my content a lot more expressive, a lot more listenable, a lot more palatable. And it's hard not to be excited about that. So keep a weathered eye out on the horizon. I said that before, but we're close now. Really close. Aside from that, one other thing I've been checking out, and if you're not following me on Twitch, that's totally fine. Is a close friend of mine named Sayado, is Austin, my roommate. He also plays a lot of The Binding of Isaac. We've been talking about streaming some races, some seed races in Isaac. And if you're interested in that, leave a comment below saying, hey, I'm interested in those Isaac races. Austin's a good player. He's a lot more methodical than I am. I play fast and loose. That's why this kind of challenge appeals to me so much, because your decisions don't matter nearly so much as Twitch reaction. Bucket of lard, huh? But I think it'd be really interesting to see he and I race, and we would come up with some way to rate our ability. So maybe score, maybe time, maybe a composite score. I think that could be a lot of fun. Anyway, if that's what you're into, leave a comment, tell me about it, or send me a message on YouTube or Twitch. And we will get that moving quickly. The only reason why I haven't done it on Twitch yet, and that's a strong yet, is because I don't want to hurt my average viewer score so that it damages my ability to become an affiliate quicker, start getting paid for my content, so that I can hopefully start filtering in more hours in making content, which will maybe a little bit more sorry, I gotta focus. A little bit more video editing, so I can have a little bit higher production value on this. Pretty fly. Keep up. Please stop. He's taken my bomb and used it against me. That, and I've been looking at trying to get a capture card to play some Super Nintendo. Now everybody loves Super Nintendo, so it can almost never go wrong. But I am particularly a very strong fan of Super Mario World. And don't get it mixed up. Not Super Mario Bros. Or anything like that. Super Mario World. Came out on the Super NES, maybe like the same year I was born. I can't really remember. Came out sometime between like 1990 and 1995. And people never get tired of that. Oh, this is hilarious. Yo, thanks. Whew, darn. So I might play a little bit of Pilot Wings. That would almost be kind of like a rage broadcast. Anybody out who's played Pilot Wings knows that it has incredible music, and that's about it. What am I doing? Eventually, I'll be teaming up with Fish Gameplays. That's Jacob over on Twitch. Fish Gameplays 1. And he doesn't have a whole lot of exposure to the Zelda franchise. Alright, so I'm just going to lay this out there. Zelda is one of my favorite franchises, for sure. Now, I am a little bit more of a Mario boy. I like platformers a lot because I like that there's a skill curve and not necessarily like a collection curve. I totally do like linear games just fine. But as you maybe tell from my intrusive games on YouTube, I really like games that reward dedication. And that's fun. And games that reward practice, which is building a skill. Anything like a roguelite, any sort of action game that requires some sort of timing, that's my kind of game. Now, you might be asking, oh hey, why don't you play Fortnite or Apex Legends? Well, I'm not really super into shooters. And maybe it's just because I burned myself out, or because I got so enamored with a certain style of shooter when I was younger that it's hard for me to stomach shooters too much. If you've seen us on Twitch, you know that we play Borderlands and Left 4 Dead 2, which have a very distinct style. I'll say that. It's not your typical quasi-realism shooter. Those are very cartoony. They're stylized, I guess is the right way to put it. Not only in their graphics, but in their gameplay itself. That's fine. So I can't really get into these games that have sort of, they are stylized, but they're more along that Call of Duty-esque playstyle. Not a single penny, huh? Which is maybe, it's a little too fast-paced for me. Personally, I can do fast-paced in 2 dimensions really, really well, but I get really mind-flooded in 3 dimensions, and again, if you watch us play Left 4 Dead or Borderlands, that may come to you as a surprise because I seem fairly aware. And I think maybe it's because I am so aware that I get so completely mind flooded by just an abundance of enemies on screen or an abundance of projectiles. So anyway, what kind of genres do you guys like to play? 2 at a time. Ouch. Ouch. Alright. Beat him, Mr. Meeseeks. Let me pick up some pennies real quick. Might have to go into radio silence here in a second. With the bloat, it's never the boss himself that gets me. It's always the eyeballs. They block your shots. You're not paying attention because they don't take damage. Boss rush, huh? Let's do it. Just so we get a chance to fight something that's not bloat. I don't think we have a bad run. Honestly, it elevates almost any run. Wow! And our survivability because of the gold cards is incredible. So speaking about working out a little bit earlier, I think that might have been a little bit of like a subconscious slip. Because previously on Dragon Ball Z, previously I worked out a lot. Before I moved to Michigan, I used to work out all the time. Or maybe not necessarily before I moved to Michigan, but a couple of years before, I used to work out like 6 times a week. And I know a lot of you are going to say something like, that's not healthy. Or you're going to say that I was overcompensating or something. And maybe I was, sure. I'm not disputing that. All I'm saying is, at some point I lost my drive for physical fitness. And most of that was because I hurt myself. I was bench pressing, and I thought because I was warming up, I didn't need any help from spotters. I didn't have to observe the same safety rules that everybody else does. And that was a bad move. You might be saying, well, yeah. But I wasn't thinking about it. It was just a warm-up weight, which was a large weight. I'm a fairly largish guy, naturally. Come on. There we go. And so I ended up dropping a 300-pound barbell on my chest. Not because my arms were too weak, but because I lost my grip, because I was not using a spotter and I was holding the bar in a way that's not considered very safe. Hello, sir. Please stop hiding. Oh no, it's not a unit. And did some serious damage to myself. I couldn't lift anything for a while after that. I don't know if it was because of physical damage or because of psychological damage. And it sounds pretty weak, I know, but if you've ever done it before, you know that it's pretty scary. Particularly because the gym wasn't exactly crowded and it's a college gym that I was at, right? So younger people tend to kind of keep to themselves. And by that I mean they're usually listening to their headphones, doing whatever they want to, not really considering anybody else in the gym at present. So it took me a few seconds after I dropped that bar on myself to get some help. So I digressed a little bit. I had hurt myself, and after we moved, I told myself that I needed to get back into shape a little bit. I was heavy. I'm about 6 feet tall, and I weighed 288 pounds whenever I moved. Which is a big boy. I've got sleep apnea, not necessarily because of that, it's probably hereditary. Because my grandfather had super debilitating sleep apnea. But it certainly didn't help being extremely overweight. So I started going back to the gym. I had gone extremely regularly for a while. Since I had moved, maybe for the last year, I was going fairly regularly, like 3 or 4 times a week. For several hours. And I had done some dedicated training programs to work on different parts of my body. I never squat before I moved. Oh my gosh. So I started squatting, got really strong at squatting. And then all of this happened and my gym shut down. We're moving soon anyway. I got a new debit card. So I just let it go out. I know that's not the most responsible thing to do. I should have called and canceled my membership. But the gym that I was going to, they are closed, keep in mind. They're still collecting membership fees. That's crazy, right? They're closed. They're not employing anybody. I know the guy has to pay his bills, but like, I can't use the service, so why am I being charged for it? It'd be like if your electrical company was still charging you for utilities, but your power had been out for the whole month. Because you pay ahead a month, right? So it's like rent. You pay for the month and you live there for the month. You pay at the beginning of the next month, so that whenever you move out, you're not just paying again to leave. It's like you're paying for the services that you will receive. So I thought that was a little crazy. We happened to drive past because the gym that I use is right next to the grocery store. And I just made the wrong turn out of habit. And I saw it's totally closed, which I expect it to be because it's considered non-essential, which makes sense. Oh my gosh, this is taking forever. But yeah, they're totally closed, so I cannot wrap my head around why they would still be forcing these membership fees on me. Because here's the thing, I let it expire, right? They got upset because I did say that I was going to pay it every month. They sent me to a collection agency instead of like notifying me that membership dues were still due even though they weren't open. Oh, that's what I was looking for earlier. Magic fingers. Does that mean I can use it nonstop? Yes, I can. Oh, that's scary. Alright, I'm gonna stop doing that because Plan C is in there somewhere. What? Please stop. Something is hurting me. Plan C? No. No. Alright, you guys might be telling me that this is not the smartest decision, and I agree. Ooh, what do? We just move on? Try to get our health as high as it'll go? Gosh. It's not something physical hurting us. I did pull the trigger a lot. Ah! We're down. 2 more floors of constantly getting hurt. I'm gonna turn the game audio down a little bit. I don't think it had been playing at all so far. Oh, we're good. Turn it up a little because it looks like the music is not coming through. How's that? Better? Better. I know it's common for OBS to kind of drop a music file halfway through, so we'll just have to see. Yeah, so I thought that was a little crazy. You guys ever been sent to a collection agency for something like that before? Maybe not exactly like that, because this is sort of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So you're not, your gym's not permanently closing down all the time, still being in it. Or at least, owner's still operating it. But I thought it was a little crazy, or maybe a little presumptuous of them to continue forcing collections. Because I feel like the contract is contingent upon being able to use the facilities. Now, I was going to try to get out of the contract anyway, but we'll just have to see. But so what do you guys think I should do? I mean, obviously I've just gone ahead and updated my payment info because I just wanted it to not be an issue. Wasn't something that I thought was worth fighting over. But it may be, now that I've really thought it through. In the instance, I just didn't want my credit to get hit because we're trying to, and eventually might be trying to buy a house, about buying a car for Ashley, because her car wasn't really her car. It was her mother's car, and she has 2 younger siblings, and they need vehicles that don't have them. So we decided to send it back. We're going to get a new vehicle for Ashley. And I didn't want this goofiness to affect it. It's just, like $50 a month. I can't help it. I have to push the item button. Thank you, Darkbomb. So we're gonna be a little bit silent the rest of this episode. There's not much left to go. I'm just losing my voice a little bit. I'm not a professional yet. I don't have the time invested that a lot of other people do. So my mic levels are going crazy. So I haven't practiced. This is just like any skill. You need practice. It's just like driving a car. It's just like typing on a keyboard. So I'm working on it. We're gonna see how this goes. Not what I wanted. Does anybody run into the issue of not being able to get something like a snack because of the shutdown? I haven't run into that issue. I'm a fairly simple guy whenever it comes to eating snacks. I like a salty snack. Barbecue chips are usually my go-to. And there's never a shortage of barbecue chips, I'll just say that. But I don't know if anybody out there is eating like imported stuff, drinking imported drinks, if they're having any issues. I do like imported beers, but usually I'm drinking like imported Mexican beers. So I'm not, like, it's not like I'm drinking any imported Italian beers or anything like that, but I know that Germany is fairly shut down. A lot of people drink a lot of German beer. So I'm just curious to know if that is reaching your lives at all, or if you're fairly stable. I read somewhere actually that alcohol consumption in the United States is up like a ridiculous amount right now, which I totally get. We got nothing else to do. They're sitting at home drinking. I don't know if that's the greatest outlet. But I'm gonna be totally transparent with you. I think I've drank more beer in the last couple of weeks than I have maybe in the last couple of years. I haven't really drank since college. There have been some special occasions. My younger brother turned 21 years ago, and obviously we drank for that. But yeah, I just really don't usually drink that much. I do like beer a lot. If I sit outside with a cigar, generally you'll find me with a beer. But also, I don't sit outside with a cigar that often because I don't have the opportunity that often. Not since we've moved here to Michigan. The weather kind of sucks. I never thought I'd say this, but I do actually really miss sweating. Isn't that crazy? Sweating. Be the final boss of the game. Oh no, forget me now. That's what I was worried about. Oh. We're Guppy.
Are you?
Oh gosh, that was terrible. But we got items coming fast and furious now. I'm getting hurt, maybe? Yup. Getting hurt a lot. For no reason. It's not registering a hit. My controller's not vibrating. That one might have been a hit. Tried to hook Bob's brain in there. Well, I am sort of glad that we started the floor now because I like pick up the transformation a lot. Who doesn't? It's one of the strongest forms in the game, and this is indeed my final form! Got a lot of anime viewers out there. I watch some animes. I actually, for the longest time, did not want to watch any of like the classic animes because I thought overrated. And that's just how I was as a person. as I always wanted everything that I did to be super, super unique. And now I know that middle of the road is usually the best option because it's better. It's not worse because more people like it. It's usually more people like it because it's better. Wow, that was fast. Check it. Buy it. And we're done. Maggie now holds a pill. Look at that. We're almost done with the negative path. 2-win streak. A streak's a streak, everybody. But anyway, if you did like the content that I've... Wow, my voice is going so fast. If you like the video, please consider leaving a like rating, leaving a comment if you have any suggestions, subscribing to my channel for future content. I thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.